darlings, it's me, Miss Ruby Sweet Cheeks, and I'm here with another Manny alert! Wait, didn't you just do 2 last week? Yes, I did, and oh my god, it seems like I'm going to be doing a lot of Manny's. These are the ones that chipped, so like I'm right-handed, so I do use these fingers a lot, okay? So I gotta soak these babies off. So we're going to grab ourselves a drink. I got myself the Starbucks medicine ball. The best way is to soak them off with the nail clamps. Usually it doesn't take that long. I like to tear these apart. It doesn't take that long to do. But this nail polish, this one from the dollar store, isn't as strong as the one that I normally get. I think it's called Curex. So it's still in stock. Sometimes my husband just doesn't look. But I don't want to waste it. I just have to soak it longer. So I've been researching a whole bunch of tips to make these manicures last. Like, a lot of people say that they can get it to last 10 days, 14 days, 21 days, but I'm not having that much luck. So another problem that it could be is maybe I should be doing my nails at night, because I do a lot during the day, but that's really not an option for me. I tend to fall asleep before anybody else does, so I can't really do that. Well, I will if I have to, but fingers crossed we can find something that makes these last. Another thing is maybe putting a base coat might not be the best idea, and base coat being my nail strengthener. That maybe I will put nothing on. As soon as I soak this off, we'll do a quick mani, hopefully, because I have to pick my son up. And then, once we soak these off, I'll do a quick mani. Yeah, I totally lost track of time. So, let me do this and I'll be back. I'll be back once all this is soaked off, and then we'll go from there, okay? I'll talk to you later. Alright, darlings, if we don't get to this, it's never gonna get done. The dog's like perched at the window, getting ready to bark at the deers. The cat's like here saying like, what are you doing? So thank gosh it's not liquid nail polish. But why doesn't it work better? My name is Miss Ruby Sweet Cheeks, and I am determined to figure out why I can't get Color Street to work with everybody else can. So I've been reading all these comments, and the next solution we have is to not put on the base coat. Because you know how they're like, put on the nail strengthener and then put it on. Well, I've read somewhere it says, don't put on the nail strengthener, go to bed and wait for it to dry. I can't go to bed and I can't wait for it to dry because there's just too much going on with my schedule. It's like always crazy town here. Always non-stop, as you can see in here. So I want to use Hisson makeup. They feel a little dry. I try to warm them up to make them a little better. So what I have here is pinkies, which I know I can't stretch. One pinky, which I'm going to try to stretch right now. Okay, sorry, that was the husband. See, it's always like non-stop go here. The reason, it's like I always try to think of how can I increase people's, oh my goodness. And then that happens, and look at that, like I don't know if I can say that. Okay, so I'm gonna apply it on my skin, and that's what they tell you not to do. Done. And you stretch it, and press it, and press it, and press it. What I find really super interesting, and let's go with the fact that you're here, you've subscribed, you like my content, so thank you, I love you. Maybe you want to know more about me, and I'm just going to start telling you about me because I feel like I've been through it all. I grew up on a little farm. That dog is going to start barking because the deers are out right now. It's pretty warm. I know you're like, ping, 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 ping. It's like worse than some tennis matches. The way I just changed subjects, and I apologize. Maybe I'm undiagnosed ADHD. I don't know. So that worked well for now. But I don't know how it's gonna look when I try to like fix it up later. What do we got next? I don't like messing with pinkies because pinkies to me, these super small ones. These ones, they never work for me, so no. I'll do something with them one day. So yeah, like I'm a product of the 70s actually, which means I grew up in the 90s. Like I grew up before it was common to have like cell phones before I'm just gonna cut this smaller. Before I actually had what is called a party line. If you know what party lines are, do you know what a party line is? Comment down below. If you don't know, it's like basically, I shared a phone line, not number, but a phone line with my uncles and my grandparents when they lived on the farm too, because we all kind of lived in this like little community, not community, just my dad had a parcel, my grandparents had a parcel, my uncle had a parcel, and they all built their houses. Okay, my grandpa's house was built before that because, well, he raised his family there. So when I'm talking, I'm a small town farm girl. I'm a small town farm girl. He's like, look. So, I remember my grandpa used to milk. We used to have a cow named Patsy, and my grandpa used to milk her, and the cats would come, and genuinely he would spray the cats, spray the cats with milk, you know. And then I know there's activists out there. Oh, you can't do it. Cats are lactose intolerant. You cat hater. Trust me. I have always been a lover of cats. I have this really cute photo of my aunt, my dad, and his brother with their cats. I don't know if I can share. You know, people are so private. Some people are not, like, all over the internet. Some people are. And I like to share my story because why not? It's a record of my life and a testament of my journey. And I think it's interesting to think that I came from like this really small town, this really small place, and I am who I am now. I'm still incredibly shy. Like, look at that little girl. Look at her. Oh, she's such a little shy little bean. I always wanted to be accepted, but was really scared to know what that meant. Because on the farm, I was the oldest. So I was always like, I was the loudest, I got the most attention because, well, I came out first. So people noticed me, I guess. So it was different for me. It felt different for me. I know for sure I won't have enough, and this is an open pack. So I don't even know if they're going to be, if I can use them, but I'm going to try. They do feel pretty crisp, but if they're crisp, that means they're garbage, so I might as well take a look and see what I can do with them. Anyways, I try to warm them up because sometimes if you warm them up, it just helps make them more pliable. So yeah, like, oh yeah, these are crisp. I don't think they're not gonna work. So you can see, this is my fault. And if they dry out, like you can't blame the product, right? That's a user problem. Massachusetts is pretty handy because I can just bust out choosy, get myself an accent nail, which is kind of the accent nail I've always wanted in the first place. You know, the oh hello. Anyways, I digress. So I grew up in a time where I shared a phone line with my uncles, with my grandparents, which means that anywhere in the house, like landlines, there was a number and my dad or my mom could pick up the phone number or pick up the phone and see who's calling, and there was no privacy, and my uncles could pick up too. And the trick is if you picked up the phone and quickly hung up the key, you could still listen onto the conversation, but they couldn't hear you. So that is how I grew up. No such thing as cell phones. There was no such thing. Like, I don't think the internet was a thing then. Like, everything just happened so fast, and it's crazy how fast the world has changed in such a short time period. It's like you blinked your eyes and everything was changed. Like, people were different, things are different, values are different. When I grew up, there was only, well, I don't want to get into all the confusion. Like, there was only, like, male and female, and I guess that is our ignorance to some of it, and I don't know how that would have impacted people. The problem with it is they're not the same size. I gotta open two to make this work. I'll be back. Alright, there we go. I also grew up in the time where when we did get a home computer, it was like the first like Apple ones that were like DOS-based, green, and it was called dial-up modem. So imagine trying to sneak onto the internet. I used to love this thing called TMZ and talk. I thought I had this internet boyfriend at like 13. I thought I had this boyfriend. Anyways, I would try to dial up to talk to him, and the phone was right beside my dad's bed. Even though it was downstairs, the dial-up noise would wake up my dad, and he'd wait and give me about 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, you know, to see who was online and do whatever you were going to do. But they didn't. It's not like it's like Roblox where you actually had houses to go into. Nothing like that. Nothing at all. It was just like chat based. It's really kind of funny. Maybe I can find an example. I don't know. But he would pick up the phone, and then the phone would disconnect me. So then I'd have to like wait and dial up all over again. And dial up, it was like, can I find a noise to match it? I don't know, but it was so super annoying, and it was so super frustrating. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 19 years old, and it was like one of the first cell phones, and it was like not one of the first cell phones, no, because I don't know when the first cell phones came out, but I imagine the first cell phones came with those briefcases, you know, those briefcase cell phones. I didn't have one of those, but it was like a flip phone, and when you text, it was like, if you're trying to say hi, it would be like 333, like you'd have to find the letter and press it that many times, and it was super frustrating. And back then, it wasn't common for everybody to have a cell phone, and where I lived, I didn't get cell service at my house, right? It was more like if I was in town, so trying to justify to my dad why I needed a cell phone didn't make sense. And then I finally told him it was for driving back and forth, but also like doesn't make sense because there wasn't a lot of cell towers. So just because you had a cell phone didn't mean you had cell service. That's what it was like growing up in the 90s. We had barely any nail polish colors to pick from. I remember my favorite color then in the lipstick I used to wear was that plum color, that deep purple. Yeah, them were the days. Alright, so here we go. I've put on His and Makeup in Tokyo Lights. This is what it looks like. They say, so I did this with no base coat. I'm gonna wait for as long as I can to put on the nail strengthener. And then hopefully we've mastered how to make these work, because I want these to work and I want natural nails. As much as you can't, you have to believe that I want to be natural, can't you? Please sub to my channel, because my husband thinks I just waste my time and he doesn't think I should be doing these anymore, so you should support me for that reason, because I think there's a benefit to helping the world be a betterful place. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Like I told you, I grew up in a time when the internet wasn't a common thing. Like, this wasn't what we did. We went outside, we played, I remember trying to get to know people by flagging them down in their car. I'm not even kidding you. I did that once. I think his name was Chris, and he was from Surrey. So if you're a Chris and you're from Surrey and you watch us ever and you think you remember a crazy girl, a crazy brunette that flagged you down one summer, that was me. Comment down below if that's you. Thank you for being here, and see you for the next Manny, whenever these chip. Cheers. Smack that like button.